Hello.
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 Hello and welcome to episode 7 of the Pressbox Quartet. I'm Colin Struckman, joined alongside 3 of my very good friends from Franklin Pierce University, Steve Callahan, Joe McLaughlin, and Jonah Boyer. And guys, it's a Friday night when we're recording this. I think we've all had a great week, so a couple of us are going to have a cheers tonight to go along with another great recording of the Pressbox Quartet. And hopefully if you're enjoying at home with us, watching or listening, you have one with us as well. So happy Friday. Have a great rest of your week, everyone. Jonah is nursing a little cold, so he unfortunately won't be joining us. But for the next time, I'm sure he will. But
100%.
hopefully enjoy one with us tonight if you're able to. But we got a lot to talk about here on the Pressbox Quartet, boys. A lot going on in the sports world. And we can start with UFC, something we talked about a little bit on this podcast with the White House event a couple of weeks ago. We had UFC 329 this past weekend. The main headliner was Conor McGregor against Holloway. Steve, I know you're a big UFC fan. You got a lot to say. I unfortunately wasn't able to watch any of it. I'm not the biggest UFC expert by any means, but it's something I definitely like to dive into a little bit. So why don't you start us off with what you saw in these fights?
Sure. And Colin, just to start off, I'm going to say, I think you would like UFC. If you can sit down and watch a soccer game, I know you can enjoy the good old octagon. Like, come on.
I've gotten into it here and there. It's just
like, dude, come on. You watch soccer. You can watch 2 guys get beat up.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to mention every fight because most of the fights were like first-round exits anyway. But the one fight that I kind of want to mention a little bit more was the Terrence McKinney and King Green fight. You know, it was a 1-round fight, and Terrence McKinney was winning that fight so hard. Like, King Green was all bloodied, you know, he's cut up against the cage, and then all of a sudden he gets like a nice liver shot, and it just continues to go to the body, which forced McKinney to go on the ground. And with 1 second, the ref called off the fight, and Green got the victory, which Terrence McKinney was the underdog on that fight, I believe, but like, in my eyes, he should have been victorious. Because, I mean, he's way younger than Green. Green is getting up there in age. He's like 38. And he just happened to sneak out a win with 1 second left. And it, like, left this whole controversy of, like, oh, if Herb Dean was repping, that wouldn't have ended the match or whatever. I don't know. I think Terrence McKinney, there's no way you could have called that fight off right there. It was getting good, too. Like, they were chirping back and forth. It was a great fight. And then the Kavanaugh fight right after that, really good. Kavanaugh went in with a 10-1 record, was the favorite, ended up losing to the American due to I think it was a 3rd-round chokehold, I think it was. He was on his back. It was bad. It was in tight. And then the 2 main cards for the evening, Patty the Baddie Pimblett, my goat, love Patty, and then Saint Denis, who I believe Saint Denis he was ranked higher than Patty. Now Patty's, after that fight, getting a 52-second guillotine tap out. I think Patty's now ranked 5th in UFC in general. So I'm hoping the title fight's going to go his way. And I believe it's still Yan who's the champ in his weight class right now. So I'm kind of hoping that's who he goes for. If not, a rematch with Justin Gaethje would be awesome. That was a great fight. I mean, Patty Pimblett's future is pretty bright. He's right on the ground. The only way he was going to win that fight was if he grappled really well, which he did. And then the main card of Conor McGregor and Max Holloway, I think everyone knows how that fight ended. You know, Conor McGregor tried to throw a flying kick, and his ACL had other plans.
Now watch his right leg. He steps on it, and right there.
Yep.
Which, I mean, that's really sad to see because I'm not the biggest Conor McGregor guy, and I am Irish a little bit. But I was rooting for Holloway the whole time. I thought Conor McGregor sometimes gets full of himself, even though he's like a UFC legend. And I thought it was kind of funny that he wanted that fight to count as a no contest. And it's like, dude, no, you got the loss. Like, you literally tried to throw a flying kick in Max Holloway's face. That fight, like, started off pretty bad, too. Like, McGregor was all on his back. He would take a jab right to the face, and he'd be on the ground instantly. So I don't even think he was winning that round of regard like to begin with. But Max Holloway probably got the easiest win of his entire career. Holloway is definitely an underrated fighter in my book. You know, he might have a lot of losses, but they're all to like complete studs if you look at it. Which he has he lost to McGregor the first time, so this is not really the get back that he wanted. But if you know McGregor's up for another fight, maybe we'll see it happen again. But for McGregor's sake, I think he should just hang it up. You know, don't do yourself trouble. Unless he's fighting Jake Paul.
Yeah. Steve, like you were saying, I mean, it was disappointing. And I mean, obviously I'm not the biggest UFC fan, but we all know McGregor has such a pull on the sport. He's such a personality. You kind of get just like invested in it almost. And I'm not the biggest fan of him. I'm more just a fan of how big he is as an athlete. And it was just disappointing. You thought on the biggest stage this was going to be a great fight. And I mean, Joe, going to you, it felt like this was a massive letdown.
I agree. I didn't really tune into it, but I definitely caught the aftermath, and all I could see were just comparisons to Aaron Rodgers running out in a Jets uniform with the American flag going crazy at MetLife Stadium, and then only to just get absolutely destroyed in the first quarter of that game. Disappointing is the right word. And looking at the highlight, it was a gruesome injury, and it's just like, you know, I'm not the biggest fan of him, like, personally, because of, you know, I think he's also full of himself too. But I hate to see an athlete go through an injury like that. That is just, it's gruesome to watch. And for it just to end that quickly was sad, especially with how much hype was coming up for his return to the octagon. And, you know, it looked like it was going to be a good fight, especially with Holloway being definitely a worthy opponent. So it's just tough to see. You know, I honestly don't really have much other than it was disappointing, and you know, it was just a gruesome injury to watch, and you know, it just kind of like capped off the night of, like, you know, you wish the fights went a little longer, and then in that case, that was just a brutal way to end what should have been a very good fight.
Jonah, wrap up with you. Anything that you noticed or had any key opinions on from the UFC 329 event?
Yeah, I mean, both Steve and Joe bring up really big points. Like you said, it's just really sad and just kind of disappointing that, you know, the Holloway-McGregor, this was the main fight of the night. Everyone was really looking forward to see McGregor back in action, hoping to see maybe prime McGregor, how he was back in just a couple of years ago. Just he was unbelievable and has one of the quickest knockouts in UFC history. Everyone knows him as a legend of the sport. And he's just such a polarizing figure when he's in the octagon, too. And I think that's what made him really special, too. I know he's the cocky, arrogance, the Irish in him, you know, is really out and really proud. That's how I like to say it for him. But, you know, on the human perspective and just, like, you know, putting yourself into his shoes, it's really disheartening to see now the last few times he's been in the octagon. Obviously had that gruesome leg injury. I think it was, a couple years ago. Finally is able to make his way back into the octagon, then throws 2 kicks, can't land them, and then on that second one just blows his ACL out. So ultimately, though, I think from what I've read and heard, it was a really good card, just with some quick fights, even though I know people would want to see him go to the final rounds. But ultimately, though, I think it's going to be really plagued by that final fight with McGregor just getting hurt. So, but I think overall for McGregor, I think it's definitely probably time to say, hey, this is over. But I know he posted on socials that he's looking to get back. He wants to get back. And I love the determination from him. But at this point, I think you really got to maybe consider what is there left.
Going from
you kind of bring up
who's...
a good point. I'm not going to lie, Colin. The one thing I think we didn't mention, it's been, like, Jonah brings up a good point. It's been 5 years since McGregor's fought. Even if his leg doesn't go out, he's not lasting that fight. I think Holloway would have won that regardless. McGregor, like, sure, he put on weight because of his movie that he made. It was called Roadhouse, I think it was.
I think so, yeah. Yeah, Roadhouse, I think.
I think it's Roadhouse.
Yeah.
But 5 years without fighting, like, dude, fighting in that octagon is not something that you can just, like, go out and do, which it has definitely shown. There was one time, Sugar Sean, we all know Sugar Sean O'Malley, you know, American fighter, Chris Mutino was fighting him, and Chris Mutino's from my hometown. He's from the good old Milford, Mass. And my God was at the ugliest fight. It was so bad. Like, you can just tell the nerves were so bad. Like, he was out of place. But McGregor, obviously, like, we're not going to think he's out of place. You know, that's his octagon. That's where he's belonged all this time. But I don't think 5-year gap is insane.
Dude, it's
Like, there's
Rocky
a lot of things that
Balboa.
can happen. Yeah.
Rocky 5, man.
Dude, it's true.
He's out of the ring for a little bit, then he trains a fighter,
didn't
then
run
they're
up
doing
the
the street
stairs,
fight and
man.
all that, you know?
McGregor didn't run up the stairs wearing his sweatsuit.
He didn't listen to Eye of the Tiger. That was the
No,
No.
he didn't. No,
He did kind of fight Ivan Drago one time, though. Actually, a couple times, I should say. But he also got his crap beat out.
Yeah, McGregor's had some devastating losses. The only time I was like rooting for him was like against Khabib, but then I like looked back at that and I was like, why was I rooting for McGregor?
I mean, you can't be wrong with rooting for Khabib too, though.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know. I just didn't root because I'm not like, because to me, like, if we're watching UFC and I see the Russian flag, I'm like, great, this guy's gonna wrestle. This is not gonna be bought. Like, there's gonna be no punches thrown from that guy. He's gonna get him on the ground and, you know, wrestle a bear pretty much. That's what they do. That's what Khabib did. He wrestled a bear, and now he went undefeated. And it sucks that he retired so early.
2-3 years Dagestan and forget.
Exactly. Like it sucks he retired though. Like even Makachev, he does the same thing. Wrestles a bear in Dagestan, and then you know he's one of the best in his weight class.
I wonder if they have a bear.
I'm glad
wrestling
Sean
school
Strickland won that, but
in Russia.
oh my God, you imagine you like pull up the first period and you're like, yo, you got to wrestle this grizzly bear, bro.
You got to wrestle bear outside in the backyard.
You cannot get
Don't
fighting
survive,
card
it's
till
on
you
you.
win.
Yo, Colin, random question: do I get extra points for every beer I finish?
Yeah, we can take that into consideration.
Okay.
How about shots of NyQuil?
That's for Jonah, yeah. But
I'm not
be
gonna
careful
sit
with
here
that.
and just finish. Yeah, that's
I already took one, so that's all I need.
All right.
Oh,
all right,
okay.
we're good. All right, we can head into our main three topics where we get into the game to decide our winner. And we'll start with the home run derby and the All-Star game, and we'll go into the World Cup final being set and end with the whole Leo Carlson offer sheet saga going over in Anaheim. But starting with the derby, I mean, this was I thought a spectacular event. And I feel like the home run derby has failed in the last couple of years from an entertainment standpoint, and the whole timing and the clock, and it just kind of made everyone confused a little bit. But this year I felt like it didn't have a lot of buzz going into it just because there hasn't been as many big names besides Schwarber, Harper, and Caminero, a few of those guys. But the home run derby absolutely delivered this year. I thought it was a great event. The final was amazing. Jordan Walker kind of came out of nowhere, basically. I mean, not a lot of people were picking him to win it. I didn't really know much about him other than him being on the Cardinals, but he's a 24-year-old phenom. I'm definitely becoming a big fan of him after getting to watch him in the Derby. But he stuns Kyle Schwarber in Philly in that final round, and it was just a great atmosphere all around in Philly. And Steve, I'll start with you. I mean, just a phenomenal Derby all around. Jordan Walker ends up winning it all.
Yeah, no, it was great because I remember before the Derby started, I was talking to my buddies and I'm like, "Who do you think's gonna win?" One of them was like, "I think everyone has a chance except for Jordan Walker and Caglione." I was like, "Oh, okay." And then all of a sudden, Jordan Walker, like, it's effortless. It looks like he's barely swinging, and it's just going right over the fence. But I'm now personally this might be a little bit of a hot take here, but I definitely enjoyed the clock more than I did the swings. But that's just me. I know I think a lot of people would disagree with that. I don't know. I hate the fact that you can just let the pitches go. Like, don't like Contreras did it. He just took like 8 pitches before he actually swung. But it's like, and you're not going to see like those 20 to 30 like home run rounds anymore. Or it's just going to be like, oh, he's going to win it with 10. He's going to win it with 15. He's going to win. Like, there's no Josh Hamiltons happening now. Like there used to be like some thought and strategy with it. Now it's just like, all right, it's just you got 20 swings and take it or leave it. But that's besides the point. That's a conversation for another time. But I definitely thought it was really entertaining because I don't think anyone thought he was going to win after Schwarber's performance, especially in Philly. You got all those fans booing you. It's it's tough. I would say that's like equivalent to shooting a free throw in like a high pressure situation. It's like you're just up at the plate, and then it's like everyone is like on you right now. They're like booing you. They're screaming who knows what, like doing stuff in the crowd, distracting you. And then Netflix hit us with the Jordan Walker 2026 home run derby champ.
I
So
know.
we
We were texting about it as it happened.
Yeah, I was like, now it's rigged. So, congrats, Jordan Walker. But no, I'm glad he won it though. His family's reaction was awesome. Like that was great. You can't beat that. And shout out Philly for chanting his dad's name. That was really wholesome. That was great to watch. That's what made sports beautiful. But
Also,
I thought they were going to give that chain. You see the chain that the mascot was giving out? I thought that was the trophy. Like in the beginning, like they were like showing how the chain was made. I was like, that's the trophy for this year. That sucks. But I guess it wasn't.
That's great.
It was the classic double bat, which you have to.
Yeah.
But definitely great. I was rooting for Contreras the whole time. Obviously, Red Sox. But no, I'm happy how this turned out. He made a fantastic... Dude, he was one swing away, man. Oh, my God. I wish he had that back, dude. He just got under it. It was so sad. So sad. Of course, the Yankee finished last, though, eh?
I'll get to that in a minute.
It's a classic Yankee showing in the home run derby.
Yeah. But no, going off at that point with Contreras, honestly, I'd like to take my little segment to go on that little side story because yes, Schwarber and Walker was a great final. Obviously, you expected Schwarber to be there in the final, being in Philly. He's a power bat left-hander. I've always loved his swing when he was on the Red Sox, when he was with the Phillies. No matter what, he was always such a good hitter, and I always love watching Kyle Schwarber at the plate. But congrats to Walker again on a great performance. Again, like you were saying, Steve, hostile environment. No one was giving him a chance, but he showed up. But for me, really, the kind of unsung hero, with a little bit of bias because I'm a Bostonian, was Wilson Contreras. Because, there's the whole, like, him getting suspended after the fight against the Nationals, and like the Red Sox season was kind of imploding earlier in the spring, and like all of us Boston fans were kind of like checked out. I was like, you know what, I'm going to pay attention to the World Cup instead of the Boston Red Sox because like I can't stand seeing them right now. But Contreras came into that like home run derby, and he's just cranking out home runs. Like it seemed like I think he had like one stretch in the opening round where he had 8 home runs in a row, just belting him 460. It's just going crazy. I'm like, wow, like I knew he had a great swing, but he was just going crazy there, and he seemed to get in a good rhythm. But to me, that was kind of like a physical embodiment of where the Red Sox are currently at right now. They've been on a tear, one that I was not expecting. Obviously, sorry to Jonah to bring this back up and rip off the Band-Aid again, but sweeping the Yankees was great. At Fenway, but to be honest, I thought that was going to be it. I thought they were just going to go back to the basement. They beat the Yankees 4 games, whatever. That's what I thought it was going to be. But here they are, and as we're recording this, they just beat the Rays 5-3. They won 11 straight after getting 2 wins against the Rays today on a doubleheader. But 11 straight wins for a team that was in the basement, like collecting dust and cobwebs. Like everyone wrote him off. Now we're in a wild card spot, and we're the hottest team in baseball. And it seems like everything's working in the right way. And this is without Contreras, mind you. Contreras is going to come back soon, and he's going to be, if he's hitting as good as he did in the home run derby, I can only imagine what that Red Sox lineup is going to be like with the momentum that they have. So, if you're a Red Sox fan, like things are looking up. The sky is blue finally. The rainstorm is gone for now. It's great to see. So for me, that home run derby was seeing Wilson Contreras do pretty good. Kyle Schwarber just beat him by 1, but it was a great showing from him. And honestly, to me, that was like an embodiment of where the Red Sox are at right now as a team. And, as a Red Sox fan, I'm excited to see where this goes. I'm not going to get my hopes too high because I've seen this team break my heart in the past. So, there's still a long season left and plenty of times to make mistakes. But if you're a Red Sox fan, you got to be happy with where that team is at, especially with Contreras doing very well at the Home Run Derby.
Joe, you took the words out of my mouth. I mean, as we're recording this tonight, Red Sox won their 11th game in a row. This is an incredible heater they're on. But, Jonah, we'll go to you to talk about your thoughts here on the Home Run Derby.
Yeah, and I mean, just kind of piggybacking quickly off Joe, I was definitely, too, very surprised by Wilson Contreras. Like, that was the first round, he hit one 490. Yeah. Like 490 feet, the longest home run of the Derby. Just blew my mind, honestly, that he did that in the first round. So I was definitely surprised, and I think also piggybacking, he was on suspension, he's in Philly, and immediately he's the guinea pig to the new format, going back to just straight swings, no clock. Everyone was booing him, and he was like, bring it on. Like, and I kind of, as I know me being a Yankee fan, but I enjoyed that. That was really cool to kind of see him, embracing this role. And him being like, you know what? I'm going to embrace this, and I'm just going to smack one 490 to left field. And it was unbelievable. It was really fun and entertaining to watch. But kind of going off Steve's point, I really enjoy just the straight swings, going back to old school home run derbies with no clock. Because I think anytime the player, like I remember when it was just straight outs. If you didn't get one out, it's an out. At 10 outs. And I loved that because I felt like that means the player had to give off their best swing and go for it. And I think that's what the home run derby is really about. And also I liked how if you hit your last one on your last swing, you keep going until you don't. So I think it could be a really cool opportunity in the future where maybe one player, he could hit 8 in a row on his final swing, and he could inflate his home run total from like 11 to like almost 20 in one round. Would be really cool. Just like you mentioned, Steve, with in the past we had like the 30 homer rounds or the 20 homer rounds, which was unbelievable. But it's going to be cool to see it kind of go back to more of its old school kind of roots with just the straight swings. But me being a Yankee fan, it was really cool to see Ben Rice participate in the Home Run Derby. I know he didn't win it, which was a little unfortunate, but, I'm just happy. He was all giggles and smiles, which I love about him. But also, don't forget, Aaron Judge hit like one of the longest home runs in Home Run Derby history in 2017, and he won that. So
yeah.
No one's thinking about
that was
that.
10 years. 10 years ago.
But anyway.
I don't want to hear
That's
it.
minus 10 points for Gryffindor. Take that off.
No. But anyway, though, I thought it was a really entertaining home run derby. Like you mentioned, Jordan Walker is the champion. I know he was definitely a prospect that a lot of people thought was kind of failed. He was drafted out of high school to the Cardinals, and he had the high power upside, as we all saw. It looked like it was effortless. But when he got called up, it just didn't seem like he was putting it together. And then finally this year, he's breaking out. He's an all-star. He's doing terrific things. And the power is just so evident. Like Steve mentioned, it's like a flick of the wrist. And these balls are line drive, 110 off the bat, and they're going over. So I think it was well-deserved. Obviously, he's still got a young and prolific career going for him. So I'm really excited to kind of see him as a former top prospect who a lot of people were writing off as a bust. But he's just 24 years old, and now he's finally showcasing what he's really made of. I know it was a home run derby, but I'd love to see him carry it over, and especially for a Cardinals team who didn't have the highest expectations this year, and they've been kind of a team that's been floating around. Maybe they could be buying, they could be selling. Who really knows? And I've always been a fan of the Cardinals. They've just been such a classy organization, too. They have a beautiful ballpark. Would love to go to Busch Stadium. That place looks gorgeous.
Oh, yeah,
I'll
that's
join
definitely
you.
on the bucket
I
list
will
for sure.
join you for that trip.
Yeah, let's take the whole quartet, bro. Let's go down. Let's do a
Yeah,
road
let's do
trip.
it.
Ballpark
Yeah.
trips all across the country.
Behind
That'd be so
home
fun.
plate, get to see
That'd
the
be
Arch
awesome.
of St. Louis. Man.
Yeah, that's exactly what it's made of. But yeah, I think overall it's made of. But overall, I think overall though, I think it was a really fun and successful derby. I think Philly was a great environment. Obviously, I thought it was funny too, even when there was a pop up and the ball boy missed it in center field, they started booing him. It was just like, come on, man.
Yeah, that was ruthless, man. I saw that.
But it was just so entertaining, and then also just the All-Star game itself. I know it wasn't as entertaining, but it was still great to kind of see the AL, even though everyone's calling the AL weak, throp the NL once again. They've won, I think, 11 of the last 13 against the National League, so it's like unbelievable, actually.
Yeah, Jonah, you mentioned the All-Star game. We can talk about that a little bit. I mean, it wasn't the most thrilling. Just a 4-0 win for the U.S. I mean, pretty much all the runs were scored in the first inning, so it was over from there. Bellinger gets the MVP, goes 1
The
for
Yankees
3,
won the AL
two
game.
RBIs.
They won. They won it.
Yeah, okay. All right. Hey.
Oh
Red
my
Sox
God, they try
Red Sox
harder
are
than
catching
the
up to
All-Star
you.
game,
Red
dude.
Sox
I know, but it's still a little ways to go. But I was definitely very excited when I saw Bellinger winning All-Star Game MVP. He's the only player in MLB history, I think it was, to win MVP, win a World Series, and there was a couple other things. But he's one of one, which I think was really cool, and to get to see those guys play. But then also Miguel Vargas, just his career trajectory as a top prospect for the Dodgers, gets sent off to no man's land in Chicago. He's turning it around, and he hits a moonshot off a former teammate Robleski, and I'm like, whoa.
What really impressed me, on both sides, was just the pitching, especially from the AL. They only gave up 3 hits. They struck out 15 batters. I feel like for both sides, that kind of goes to show the direction of where the game is going. Heavily on pitching, and not even starting pitching, especially those relievers, middle inning guys, late inning setup guys, closers. That just feels like where the league is headed. And you look at all the stars now with Skubal, Skeens, Mizorowski, Ohtani when he's on the mound, just to name a few of those guys. That's the direction the league is going. So it kind of makes sense that there wasn't a lot of offense in this game, even though you have the best guys at the plate in both leagues. The arms are really what's driving the league, and that's the premium you have to pay at this trade deadline if you want to get some of these top arms. So just gauge your guys' thoughts on kind of where the league is going here, which it feels like very pitcher heavy, and we saw it in the All-Star game.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That's just kind of how baseball is evolving. We're gonna find new pitches that are just gonna take over the lead, or maybe a different arm slot that we haven't seen before. Eventually, it's gonna get to the point where there are switch pitchers, which I know we've already seen before, but I guarantee you, there's gonna be a generation of pitchers that are gonna be switch, and then it's wow, well, now there's no hitting advantage whatsoever. So. Because you can only do so much with hitting. You can only evolve so much. You stand in the box, you go higher on the bat, you go lower, move in the batter's box depending on, how you're hitting at the moment. But baseball is definitely going to be a pitcher-heavy sport in, the next 3 years, I think. Because you just look at all the top players in the league, and it's most of them, all of them can, pitch.
Yeah, for sure, Steve. Going off of that point, the hitter's already at a disadvantage. You got to go up to the plate and hit a 100-mile-an-hour fastball. I know I can't do that. I would look stupid in the box, trying to do that. But so already they're at a disadvantage. So it's, you have switch hitters and you can change your grip and your swing motion, whatever. But pitchers are inventing new pitches almost every year, it seems. They're altering pitches that already exist to make them more effective, and they're mixing and matching things in so many different ways. And honestly, as obviously, as a kid, I loved the big hits. I love big poppies, so getting a big home run was always my thing. But as I've grown older, I've really appreciated a really good pitching performance, because it's just so satisfying to watch a pitcher pick out his spots on the corners and just be super, super accurate with it. I'm going to bring up the Red Sox game tonight. Tyrone Guerrero, a reliever, he's relatively new. He pumps out 100 miles an hour sinkers all the time, and laser precise every time he throws the ball. Even one at bat in this game, he painted the inside corner and only missed it by probably 3 millimeters or so, and he's just pounding the strike zone with 102. That's becoming normal, and it blows my mind, because I can't imagine what it's like to be a professional baseball player and have to decide, am I swinging or am I not, within probably 0.3 of a second, if not less than that. It's absolutely insane. But yeah, it was really impressive to see. A really awesome pitching performance from the American League. It was the first time that the first time that there was a shutout in the All-Star game since 2013, and the American League actually shut out the National League that year as well. So But
That was a good
it was
one.
just really cool to see that from the pitcher's perspective. I know the Blue Jays were psyched to see Dylan Cease start the game. He pitched pretty well that first inning, but just overall, everyone that was on the mound for the American League played phenomenally. And, like you said, it's moving to the pitching side of things, and, it could be low-scoring games. People are going to have to get adjusted to a defensive-centered game. But I kind of like that. There's a little bit more strategy involved, and, I don't know, watching a good pitchers is super satisfying to me.
Yeah, it's always, I think recently also, I mean, going back probably 2013, 2014, was really the decline of teams who would consistently bat over 300, or even like have 4 or 5 players who would bat over 300. Pitchers have definitely gotten better at obviously training their bodies to throw harder. We're seeing way more guys with velocity, and I know you talked about Jacob Mizorowski, who had a historical inning earlier this year against the Yankees. He threw unbelievable. I think he was averaging like 103.8 on his fastball in that inning, which was the highest among any starting pitcher in MLB history, which just sounds unreal to think of. That a guy who doesn't look like he could throw 100 is just pumping effortless gas, and as a hitter, it's so tough. Like, personally, I've never seen 100. I've seen 92, 93 is probably the fastest I've ever seen in a batter's box, and it's scary. It really is.
It's messed
And
up.
especially like coming at your knees or your head, you're like, oh my goodness, this like, how am I going to get out of this? But it's also a testament to the hitters too, saying like, if they can actually piece that up, that's impressive on their part. But overall in this game, since now pitchers are getting more velocity on pitches, it's really just been a disadvantage for hitters since the early 2010s. And even to the talks where they might make rule changes to where they might move the mound down a little bit, like they did in years and years ago to help boost pitching when the offense was booming, or juice the balls again like they did in 2019 or something like that. They might increment these little things, or they might move the mound back more so pitchers maybe could get more spin on pitches, but the velocity is not going to be as high. So there's these little things that I think could really change the game for maybe the better, but I think at this current rate, I definitely think, like you guys have mentioned, pitching definitely dominates, and we're really seeing it, especially in the All-Star game where 15 strikeouts, the NL, who I was really expecting to blow out the American League in this ball game, and it kind of shocked me that they only got 3 hits. They struck out 15 times, and really tip your cap to the AL pitchers who really shut them down, and I was very, very surprised for kind of a game that I thought was going to be a really big blowout, that the NL was going to cakewalk the AL, because just the way the whole playoff is shaping up right now, it just looks like the NL is going to run away with the title once again. But you never know. I think it's going to be real interesting, because that definitely caught me off guard.
It's definitely been a down year for the American League. I mean, it helps that the Red Sox are going on this heater, and they're still below 500, but they're right in the thick of the wild card race, which some of the teams aren't that great in the American League, so that helps their case in terms of the wild card. We can get into more baseball as the summer continues. We'll go to an event that is wrapping up this summer. I know some of us are very sad that it's wrapping up. I'm sure Steve is very happy that it's ending, so we don't have to talk about it
Get it
anymore
out
on the podcast.
I'm so happy.
Steve,
We'll go-
3.1 billion people just downvoted you.
That's fine. That's cool.
We'll go to
It's-
the pitch for our next topic. The World Cup final is set as we are recording this, so we'll preview it. So it'll already have happened by the time this episode is released. But the 2026 World Cup final, Spain against Argentina for the crown of world champion, will be one for the ages. I know there was a lot of people online rooting for a rematch of the 2022 World Cup final in Qatar of Argentina versus France. Wanted to see part 2, Mbappe versus Messi. I think that would have been great. But I also think this is going to be an excellent final. We can talk about more of the final in that matchup. Let's talk about how they got here in these last couple of games. So Spain knocks out France 2-0. And, I mean, France was the heavy favorite for a while in this tournament. I thought they were the best team left. Really hard to slow down Mbappe and Dembele. Just that 1-2 punch that you cannot put away. Even if you shut one of them down, the other's going to find a way to score. and Mbappe has just been on an insane tear in this World Cup. But Spain just shut France down defensively, and the way Spain moves the ball around offensively is just brilliant. It's so like pleasing to watch. And Lamine Yamal is only 19. Seemed like he was everywhere on the field in that game. But we can start with Spain. I mean, I feel like this is a team that's destined to win by the way they've played. And it feels like they've almost been disrespected too much. They're still being discredited and slept on, and they're not getting the respect they deserve. But this is a team that rightfully could win the World Cup, and at this point should win the World Cup, but have to go up against Argentina. So just, I mean, we can talk about Spain for a little bit, how they've been able to get to this point.
So I'm going to be honest with you, Colin. I haven't watched a World Cup game in a very long time.
Since the U.S. got knocked out?
I didn't even watch that. I didn't watch any of that. The only thing I can say is what I hear. Just, I don't know if you guys watch First Things First and Nick Wright and all them. You know, I watch them sometimes if I'm like really bored. The only thing I got from that segment of theirs was Spain has really good defense, and that's it. That's all I got. But
what about Argentina, though? I mean, you got Messi.
Dude, I don't know anything about Argentina other than their flag is blue and white, dude. I got nothing.
If you gotta pick a team, for the final, though, who are you pulling for, Spain or Argentina?
Ooh, probably Egypt.
Oh my god!
No, I'm just kidding. No, I think I'm gonna go Spain, just because I don't know.
Spain.
I feel like, well, because what I do know is I know Argentina, like, you know, just gets, I'm not going to say get lucky, but it's just like they win. You're like, bro, how'd the other team let that happen?
Yeah.
You know, I feel
you're right.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. You're right. I don't. But
no, but the way they've
know.
been winning these games has been kind of crazy, and it doesn't feel sustainable.
That's what I'm saying. Because like, not I don't remember. I don't know who they played before England, but I do remember. Was it Egypt?
It went Cape Verde, Egypt, Switzerland, and then.
It might have been Switzerland.
Their last game against
I
England.
know. I just know there was a team that like let up 2 goals in like 3
Extra
minutes.
time. Yeah, that was Switzerland. Yep, you're right.
Okay, yeah.
Switzerland.
I'm just like, bro, like any other team is not like Cape Verde ain't doing that. Well, maybe they did. They might have because they played in the round before. But I don't
Argentina has been getting a lot of hate online for the way they've been winning games, and it feels like they've gotten some calls that went their way. I just respect it honestly because no one has been more clutch when it comes to the 90th minute in this World Cup than Argentina. And I know the nicknames are Argent FIFA and VAR.
Argent FIFA, that's funny.
And yeah, I mean the Twitter discourse is really bad for Argentina, but I mean, have to respect 39-year-old Messi is finding ways to contribute. He's clearly the GOAT, now going for a second World Cup that really cement his legacy. But Joe, we'll go to you. I know before we started recording, you wanted to talk about England a little bit and how they approached that game against Argentina. And Tuchel, the manager, had some interesting tactics, to say the least, after they scored that first goal. So why don't you dive into that for us a little bit here?
Before I do, I'll build off of Steve's very small point about Spain. It shocked me that Spain won, to be honest, because I was thinking Mbappe and like France. I mean, you know, you won the World Cup in 2018, you go to the final in 2022, you come up just short to Messi. Like, they were the heavy favorite. Now, I'm not discrediting Spain. They're a great team.
That's what it sounds like.
A great player. All right.
Spain continues to get slept on. They do. We keep counting
get slept on. I'm one of them, I guess.
They do. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
We keep doing this.
Joe is the reason why Spain gets hated on.
Yeah, blame me. I'm the problem. But no, you know, Yamal honestly is such a great player. Like, from what I've seen and seeing that match, being able to, like, France got shut down. Like, they looked like, in a way I've never seen them before. They just couldn't do anything, and Spain came in with a perfect game plan for that, and Spain deserves every single bit of being in that final. Now, going on to England, they should have won that game, and it should be England in the final, even though I don't like England, nor do I want them in the final, so I'm kind of happy they lost. But But if you're an English football fan, from your perspective, you should be in the final right now going against Spain, recreating the Battle of the Spanish Armada again. That's what it should be. But no, Tuchel got too comfortable. You score the first goal in the second half, and momentum's on your side. England's doing great. It was a war between these two teams in the first half. Physical. There was a lot of bickering and fouls and everything you could imagine. Like, it was probably the most physical game of this entire tournament up to this point, was that first half. It was insane to see. And then, England pulls ahead, and what does Tuchel do? But he puts a very, defensive formation, and he just allows Argentina to attack. And to me, that was him getting too cocky too early. And Argentina, we've talked about, Colin, you mentioned it a couple times, are the best fourth quarter team of the entire World Cup right now. Because they have Messi, who's a playmaker. He had 2 assists on both of the goals they scored within the final 10 minutes of the match. But if you're England, you did this to yourselves, because you went into a heavily defensive formation and you just opened the door for Argentina to control the pace, to control the ball, and it was basically one-sided, like we saw a lot of the time with Franklin Pierce men's soccer team. A lot of the time they would hold that one half of the pitch the entire time offensively. That's what I saw with Argentina in that second half. England was content with playing defense with only a 1-0 lead, which I think was a dumb move. They should have kept pressing forward and putting the pressure on Argentina and bleeding out the clock. They should have had the possession, and I think Tuchel blew it. I think everyone in England can agree with me there, because I think that was their best chance to get to the final. Because, Colin, you mentioned it last week. If England doesn't win it this year, I don't know when they will. This is their best chance to go all the way and win it. And I'm sorry, England, it's not coming home this year. I don't know when it's coming home. I don't know if it's
never
coming
home.
At this point, it's
not
never.
on American soil. That's for sure. Not on American soil.
And I'm speechless in a sense, because I'm baffled that, to me it was just a mistake from Tuchel, the manager. Got too cocky too early and was content with playing defense, and it just opened the door. And then Messi, being Messi, he's going to take advantage of that. He made plays, opened the doors for the goals, and then all of a sudden Argentina's back in the final. And to me, the way that Argentina's won these games, you could argue, they've had an easy schedule. FIFA's there's some bribes going on back there, whatever. I think they find a way to win no matter what, because they have that veteran leadership with Messi. They have great players on their team. It's maybe not the strongest Argentinian team we've seen, but they find ways to win games. Even if they're not pretty wins, they find ways to win. And I think that's why they're going to beat Spain in the final. That's my prediction. I'm taking Argentina to go back-to-back, and I think Messi is going to really cement himself on that mountain of greatest footballer of all time. And I think it's going to be a close match, but I think, again, it's going to be that late second half. I think Argentina is going to find a way to win it.
Yeah, I mean, like you kind of said, Joe, just unbelievable. The fact that 8 of the starting 11 for Argentina were in the previous World Cup and were in that starting 11 as well. So that just shows already the amount of experience that they already have going into this one. And quite frankly, I was very, very shocked by both outcomes for both Spain, France, and England, Argentina, because quite frankly, I had France as my favorite too. I think France overall, they look the strongest. Obviously, Kylian Mbappe, whenever he plays and puts on that French shirt, he's at his best, 100% at his best. We saw it with the hat trick in the World Cup final 4 years ago against Messi as well. It seemed like he was carrying the load for France and that they were going to win back-to-back World Cups, and fortunately they couldn't pull it out in 2022 in Qatar. But now I really think that with France getting knocked out, Spain really surprised me. They really, really did. I mean, they controlled the tempo, they controlled the pace, they really shut down, like you said, Joe, a really good French attack that was led by Mbappe and Dembele, 2 really fantastic forwards who can provide their own offense when needed. And I was just very, very stunned. And it seems like, in a sense, that Spain's going back to their 2010 form, where they have some really good midfielders. They have a not so, like, I'd say not bad forward attack, but they have good forwards, they have good depth, they have good goalkeeping. I think they look really well. They are epitomizing the tiki-taka strategy. They'll complete 1,000 passes, and they will somehow get around you, and they will find ways to score, find ways to just take the ball off possession. They'll do the little things really well, and that's why I think Spain will beat Argentina. That'll be my pick. I think Spain will beat Argentina. But then going to the England game, it was very frustrating kind of to see England. They score the first goal, and then you see all the defensive changes. They put in Dan Burn, who was excellent against Mexico, clearing headers away, crosses in the box. But I think that's what kind of England was relying on again, was that kind of strategy. Even though they had 10 men in Mexico, they really defended well in the box. There were so many crosses by Mexico. They were under siege the entire time. They cleared everything out. They thought they could do the same. And quite frankly, Mexico is not Argentina. Argentina is just the more experienced team, and it seemed like whenever they went to that 5-3 defensive set, Messi was floating around. He wanted the ball. He was calling for it, and once he got it, he just created poetic offense in pockets. He found those openings, which led to those 2 goals, and quite frankly, I was just very, let's say, surprised, I guess, when England went defensive. It was like, Argentina's going to score, and guess what? They're going to score again, and they're going to win this game, and exactly that's what happened. So, but I think this is going to be a great World Cup final. I would not be surprised if this goes to penalties for the second tournament in a row, I believe. So, but I would love to see Spain win it for the first time since 2010, even though I love what Messi's done with his career. He's arguably the greatest to ever lace up the boots. Had a kind of cemented that in the last tournament in 22, and to think that this could be his greatest run in the World Cup now in his possible final one. I'm really excited to see how this unfolds, but ultimately what I can really say was I was very shocked by both results in both games.
Yeah, I mean, going into this semifinal, I had the other teams winning, to be honest with you. I thought it was going to be France and England. That's what I said on the last episode. I mean, I knew England was going to beat Norway, and then I thought they were going to beat Argentina, because Argentina has been scraping by these last few games with Cape Verde, Egypt, and Switzerland, teams they should have beat pretty convincingly. They struggled against, but they just keep finding ways to win. Like I said, they're a clutch team after that hydration break in the new fourth quarter of the second half of this World Cup. They just turn on the jets. And, I mean, they had England on the ropes for about a half hour in that second half of the semifinal, when England just somehow decided to park the bus and put in the defensive subs up 1-0, when you can, put on the pressure and utilize Harry Kane, Jude Bellingham, your top guys, to get you that extra goal to put you on top. But I do think this is going to be a great final, and I think this is a bit of a passing the torch game, what could be, with Messi potentially passing the torch to a young future GOAT in Lamine Yamal. And I know that they've met previously when Yamal was like a baby at this point. And some people are calling this like the baptism game, something like that. So I think it could be interesting to see if Spain gets it done. Then Lamine Yamal at 19 years old gets his first World Cup, and he's got the rest of his future ahead of him on a great Spain team. He's the prodigy. He's the next future star of soccer. So I'm really excited to see what Spain can do in this game. I do think they're the stronger team. It's so hard to pick a side because Argentina just keep finding ways to win. But I think the better team is Spain, and my gut in these games is just go with the better team and the team that's looked better. I think Spain has just looked better for the entirety of the tournament, and I'm just tired of sleeping on them and disrespecting them, because they deserve all the credit in the world for how they've gotten to this point. So I will go with Spain to topple Argentina, which should be an excellent World Cup final. And we'll break that down next week once we know the winner. But as we're recording this on Friday, it'll be on Sunday at MetLife, 3 p.m., World Cup final, one of the biggest sporting events in the last several years.
In beautiful
and we
New
can
Jersey.
Go. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. It's at
The home
MetLife,
of the
but
Jets.
Someone's
I-
carrying an ACL, man. Someone's gonna tear an ACL
Don't
on
say
that.
it. Don't
Hey, it's
say
grass. It's not turf anymore. It's grass.
Oh, you're
Yeah,
right.
I
They
don't-
did take out the turf.
I
Still
mean,
MetLife.
MetLife's been able to handle some of these matches, but I think the World Cup final is just a beast of its own. I mean, this is.
Yeah.
I don't know how they're going to deal with this, but hopefully everything goes well. I'm excited for it. I know there's going to be a halftime show, and they're really going to drag this out and make this
Really?
Super
It was the
Bowl, which
halftime
I
show.
know- Yeah, I think it's. I want to say it's like
I show speed.
Shakira or something, or
Oh, yeah, that makes
I
sense.
would assume
Yeah.
Spanish music.
Actually, I'm
Could be
gonna
dead
look it up.
wrong
Who
on
is
that.
it?
Yeah, why don't you? Because I could be dead
Sure.
wrong on that. I
Who
feel like I
is the
heard
halftime
Shakira
show?
somewhere.
Just a quick thought. Has any of you guys listened to Triple Coverage Sports?
No.
Where they
Can't
make
say I
these
have.
funny,
Okay, no.
funny
Oh,
TikToks
dude, it's
of
at,
like
this is low
like
key
Bop,
stacked.
like Boppy should go to the MLS and play against the best defender in the world, Tim Ream. And it's like,
Yikes.
it's so goofy. I love listening
All
to
right.
their TikToks.
So
check it out.
the halftime show is Justin Bieber, Madonna, Shakira, BTS.
Oh, it's partially right.
Who's
Oh, yeah.
BTS?
They're the
Behind the
I
K-pop
don't
scenes?
know who
group.
BTS is.
Behind the
Like
scenes?
K-
I don't know.
K-pop. isn't it?
K-pop band.
Yeah, the Korean
Like,
K-pop.
One of the
Okay.
biggest K-pop bands in the world.
And Burna Boy? Never heard of them.
I've never heard of
Lost
it.
me there. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't. So yeah,
That's a
Justin
lot.
Bieber, Madonna, Shakira, Behind the Scenes, and Burna Boy.
Madonna will be
Behind
cool.
the scenes.
Yeah, so I'll add a couple extra hydration breaks for myself during the halftime show. I don't think I need to watch a whole lot of that. I'll tune in for Shakira, but the other ones are.
Fair enough.
What about Bieber?
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
I take it or leave it with him.
What? No.
He's a
Colin.
Maple Leafs guy, so that's.
Calling it. It
If
ain't
I-
no how mouth.
Oh,
it ain't
he.
no how
Well,
mouth.
okay.
It ain't
Yes,
no
he is a
how
Maple
No,
Leaf
no,
guy.
it's not. Yeah, I got the Houndmouth shirt on.
You got the
They got a new
Houndmouth
album
shirt
out.
on,
I gotta
yeah.
check that out. But yeah.
Yes, sir.
Listen, all hockey
Um,
teams aside, like Bieber rips. All right, Bieber's
Yeah,
rip.
okay. He's got some classics. I'll
He does.
Absolutely.
Can't
I
Since
know
like
there's a
13
video
years
you
old,
dancing
man.
to Justin Bieber. I know there is.
Is a lot different than who would play in the World Cup halftime show. So
True.
we can agree to disagree there. But we can get into our final topic before we get into the game, which is a little bit different. I'll go into that in a little bit. Let's go to the ice, and I feel like the NHL has had a lot going on, even though the Stanley Cup final ended a little over a month ago between Carolina and Vegas. There's been a lot of off-the-ice news in the NHL, which is great for me personally as a huge hockey fan. Gives us something more to talk about. I think this is one of the biggest NHL stories in recent memory, which I didn't think really going into the offseason this would be a big deal, but it has become a huge deal. Leo Carlsson from the Anaheim Ducks is now the highest paid player in NHL history. And this whole offer sheet saga has been so complicated, and it started with the Flyers making a huge gamble, giving him the offer sheet, 5 years, $90 million. Their GM, Danny Briere, just taking that gamble, trying to poke away Leo Carlsson from Anaheim, which, I mean, the Flyers have a great young team. We just saw them go to the Stanley Cup playoffs. They did get swept by Carolina in round 2, but they have some really solid young players, Konechny leading the charge, Porter Martone coming onto the scene. So it makes sense they want to try and pry him away from Anaheim to continue building that young core in Philly. But now Anaheim, they had a lot of pressure to match the offer. They did. So Leo gets 5 years, $90 million, an AAV of $18 million. That's the richest in NHL history. He's an Anaheim Duck through the 2030-31 season. And Steve, starting with you, I mean, this has just been a crazy situation, but it feels like the Ducks, I mean, this is their superstar, so it did make sense to lock him up long term.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you have to. Because, honestly, if you looked at let's assume they didn't, right? Let's say they didn't, sign him for that much. I think the Ducks regress a lot. I really think they do. I don't think they're the same team that they were last season, which I think you said they got swept by Carolina, but I'm pretty sure it was the Golden Knights that beat them.
Yeah, Golden Knights beat him second round in
Yeah,
6
yeah.
games.
Yeah, they beat
No, I was
Edmonton.
talking about Philly. Sorry. Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, no, you're
are
right. You're right.
Vegas did beat
No,
Anaheim.
you're right. Okay,
Yes.
I missed that. Bush Light. That's the Bush Light.
Yeah.
No, but
No free
yeah, I
ads.
think if the Ducks, I think had a really good season, and I like the Ducks, I do. But there's a lot of questions in the air now. You know, it's like if someone didn't know hockey, right, and I looked at you and I was like, guess who do you think is the like highest paid player? I guarantee you, nobody's guessing Leo Carlson. No one is guessing him. Because, I mean, to be honest, it's a little bit of an overpay. It a little bit. It kind of is.
A little bit. I think it's a lot.
That's a
okay. It's a
stretch.
lot of bit. But I mean, the thing is, if he just does but if he's like better, like he could get on the Kucherov level. You know, he can get on the Celebrini level. Like he can get up there. But if he lives up to that expectations, usually when players get paid, it's like they don't really play to how they're supposed to. But I mean, that honestly, I haven't really seen that issue in the NHL. I feel like that's more of an NBA kind of thing where it's like, oh, this guy's got money. Now he's just chucking up threes and hoping it goes in to save his legacy. But in hockey, I feel like players don't really have that mentality of like, oh, I have money. Now I can just like do whatever now. You know, I've made it. Which no, I feel like, you know, Leo Carlson wants to win a cup and he believes Anaheim can do it, which I think they have a lot of potential, you know. But the only question I have about this move is, what does it mean for Gauthier now? What does it mean for him? You know, you still gonna have to. You have an upcoming contract negotiation with him, pretty coming up soon. So I'm curious what's gonna happen with that. But I mean, if they could keep both of them, fantastic. I thought their draft was pretty good. I don't think it was great. I just don't think it was bad. I think it was just kind of like what they needed. You know, there's nothing spectacular, but nothing awful about it. So I'm excited what the Ducks have to do. But 90 million is a lot. That is a lot. That's a lot of money. But I mean, hey, if he can live up to those expectations, if his numbers can rise, you know, if he can give Anaheim a better seeding in the playoffs, then sure, it was worth it. But I do think they needed to keep him. They had to. I think it was the right decision because, you know, he's been there for a few years. You know, he knows the team. You know, he's literally a leader on the team, so he's gonna have to do it. But I don't hate the move. I just don't think it was worth that much money.
And Steve, I want to go to one of your points that you brought up in terms of no one would expect Leo Carlson to be the highest paid player in NHL history. Very good player, but a fairly small sample size. I mean, he's played 3 seasons, 200 games, 141 points. Very, very good small sample size. But looking at the other top 6 highest paid players, which I don't think Leo Carlson compares to any of them. That's no disrespect to him, but these are just some of the top forwards and defensemen in the NHL now. Kaprizov's number 2. He's making $17 million. Leon Draisaitl's number 3. He's making $14 million. Jack Eichel is number 4. He's making $13.5. Austin Matthews is number 5. He's making $13.25. Nathan McKinnon's number 6. He's making $12.6. And then Connor McDavid, he did take a hometown discount, but he's still making $12.5 million, number 7th highest paid player in the NHL. I don't think Leo Carlson even compares to any 6 of those guys, just because they have been dominant in the league for plenty of years. Eichel's won a Stanley Cup. McKinnon's won a Stanley Cup. McDavid has been to 2 Stanley Cups. And Austin Matthews, I mean, he just won a gold medal with Team USA. He's been an excellent player in Toronto. Kaprizov is the leader of the Minnesota Wild. He was the highest paid player before Leo Carlson. So it's just kind of shocking that he would let Leo Carlson would get paid more than any of those guys. And you brought up Gauthier, who's going to be making a lot of money. And the rumor mill is that he doesn't want to take less money than what Carlson just got, which I don't know how in the world they're going to manage those 2 contracts when the time comes. But it could end up working for the Ducks. I mean, you have to keep Leo Carlson. He was a number 2 pick. He's been a stud. He's produced. He's been everything you wanted and more in a franchise player. But now you have that much more expectation from him. We signed to that contract, the biggest in NHL history. And Joe, I'll go to your thoughts on this.
Yeah, I'm going to build off of your point with Gauthier, because for him to say, yeah, you're going to offer him that much, I'm not going to sign for anything less. that really puts the Ducks in a pickle, because now you have him who's a restricted free agent, but still he wants the money. And to me, this entire contract is creating a ripple effect that's going to be felt across the entire league, because now these franchise stars are going to expect this pay level. And we talked about, like, Karlsson is a great player, but among that list of top stars that you mentioned, Colin, he's not really in that list yet. I wouldn't say he's in that list yet. But, just for him to get that much money, now all the people that are in that list are going to look for that. And it's not just the Ducks that are going to feel this, it's the entire league. So I'm really intrigued to see how that works. And then Gauthier, I don't know where he's going to go, to be honest. But for the Ducks, to me, this is a gamble, because after this 5-year deal is done, Karlsson's an unrestricted free agent. And, say if you're Anaheim and you didn't win a cup with him in that 5 years, Karlsson could be looking for money somewhere else, and he's in the prime of his career. And he could go to another team, and then he ends up winning that cup there. So, to me, this is a gamble. I think Anaheim's like, all right, we're going to try and win now. Karlsson's a great player. We could build around him. Steve, you talked about it. We have potential. We went to the playoffs for the first time in many years this year, won a series against Edmonton. We're moving in the right direction, but we need to, that to me, this contract is them investing in Karlsson, saying you are going to be one of, if not the guy, that's going to get us to the promised land. And they're going to have to try and do it within a 5-year window, or else I could see this kind of blowing up in their face. So it's going to be really interesting. But honestly, for all of the star players, especially the young players coming up, this is big for them in terms of leverage for negotiating contracts, because all of a sudden NHL money in terms of salary is starting to move up to almost baseball levels of how much money is being invested in these players.
Yeah, and I would definitely agree with that, because, you mentioned the $18 million now is the highest among any NHL player per season. And it was just even last year when Kaprizov, he signed his big contract. He was the highest paid guy per season in NHL history. And it's just crazy to think that Kaprizov, I know he can be a really, really talented player, and he's going to be a big force for the Wild. But then you mentioned Leo Karlsson, such a small sample size to see, can he really be worth all that money, compared to you have McDavid, who you said is 6th on that list. He has been to the Stanley Cups. He's the best player in the NHL, and he's not nearly making any of that money. I know it's $6 million less, but it's still a reasonable gap between McDavid's salary and what Leo Karlsson's going to make. But then, kind of piggybacking off Joe's point with the younger players, that leaves Bedard, Celebrini. Where do these guys kind of now, with their up-and-coming rise to stardom? I know Celebrini, he's kind of getting more of the attention, obviously, with the Sharks now, with their such a young core. They just bought in a lot of good moves this offseason, too, and now it's like, how much is he going to make? How much is that guy going to make? Then even Bedard, I know he just had his shoulder surgery, whatever, he hurt it in this offseason, but even when he's healthy, we saw how good he can be. Now, what's he going to be owed? So it's definitely going to be a really interesting ripple effect, like Joe mentioned, just to how this contract is really going to shape overall salaries going to be now with teams. Do they really going to have to pay really big for these big-time players, and how are they going to build a team around them? Or could, say, maybe a young star who can accept a pay cut, like McDavid, can build a quality caliber Stanley Cup champion team around them. So there's really, it's just a lot of questions kind of going, even to this offseason with even Robertson's situation in Dallas with the arbitration. NHL money, like you said, Joe, is just going to be such a different, people are going to view it in a different way from this offseason going forward. And I think this could be a perennial maybe issue that could be going on down the road with a new CBA maybe going to be an agreement.
Yeah, I think that's a great point you bring up, Jonah. I mean, the league is shifting, and this contract is a key indicator of that. The salary cap continues to go up, and I mean, some of these GMs and teams are taking advantage of it. Players are definitely taking advantage of it. I mean, Leo Karlsson now is signed to a 5-year, $90 million contract, which I don't think a lot of us expected going into this offseason. But it's definitely going to be interesting to see how this goes moving forward, especially with with teams maybe being even more aggressive with the offer sheets, where the Flyers were uber aggressive in that offer sheet to try and poke away Leo Carlsson from Anaheim. So, I mean, the league is really shifting into almost teams really focusing on building their young core and turning that into a cup contender so quickly. I mean, the Ducks were just in the cellar of the West for so long, and they've really been able to develop this young talent with Seneca, Carlson, McCabe on the blue line. I mean, they've really developed that young core, Gauthier that we talked about. So the Ducks have plenty of options to go for moving forward, and this is a really solid young team. So kind of like we talked about, guys, I mean, the NHL is shifting, and it was never really a money-hungry league. I don't think it ever will be, but it definitely feels different than before.
Yeah, I mean, but if you go back to that list that you mentioned of the highest paid players, the common denominator is every franchise had to do that to save their future. So right now, Leo Carlsson's the highest paid player, but in a few years it's going to be someone else. That stat is going to be flying around for the next few years in the NHL. So it's great to see that hockey players are getting paid, because sometimes it's wow, the NBA players make more than that, and it's they go through less physical damage and stuff like that. Look at Jack Hughes and his teeth. Dude's had how many dental fixes by now? The NBA players don't do that. They get paid way more than they do.
Or even MLB
I'm excited to
players,
see
too.
the NHL involving more money with these players, but I mean, I don't hate that Leo Carlsson got that deal at all. I really don't. Even though sure, it's a massive overpay, whatever. But pretty soon that's going to be a nothing contract to people now. Now it's the highest paid, but you fast forward in 5 years when he's able to opt out of it, it's then it'll be, we'll see what that really tells. 'Cause that's really going to be the deciding factor of how successful the Ducks can be within that 5-year span before, if he wants to walk away or if he wants to stay, if what's Gauthier's deal on that team, because he's going to want money. Maybe he'll have that title of the highest paid player. You never know.
Yeah, you
But
never really
while
know.
we're on this though, how many beers are we all down, boys? How many we still? I'm curious.
I just had
pretty
my
modest.
one glass. One glass.
I'm on my
In the
end
books.
of second. I've been pretty modest, to be honest.
I would say yeah. I'm on the end of my second too. But I was just curious because we're already
I
an
should have
hour in,
re-upped
so
when I first came down
Oh.
to start recording.
If you guys
No
were
reload.
curious, I have 0.
How many NyQuil
I actually
shots,
wasn't, but I
though?
appreciate
This
the
is our
input.
equivalent.
Yeah,
How many
yeah.
NyQuil shots?
Just the one.
Jonah
Just
will
the
catch
one.
up next
All
time.
right.
Don't worry.
All right.
Oh,
Don't
for
worry,
sure.
guys.
Yeah. Dude,
All
I
right,
had
well,
to
that'll wrap
switch
up
to
our
my
topics
Mac,
for
bro.
tonight, boys, and I think it's time to get into our game, our trivia, to decide our winner for next week. How do we feel?
I'm excited.
I'm ready, dude. This is the best.
All right.
This is the best part of the segment, bro. This is the best part of the
I
show.
know this is Steve's favorite. So
I
we're gonna
love a
switch
good
it up.
game, man. I love a good game.
We're gonna switch it up. I thought Pictionary last week was great, so I love that we're kind of switching it up here. We're gonna play
Thank you.
a game that I thought of called Guess the Broadcaster. I thought this would be fitting for all of us as play-by-play men, spending our time with RSN at Franklin Pierce, continuing our career in the broadcast field. So I thought this would be fun to kind of play this. So I will name a famous line said by this broadcaster, and you have to name who said it in order to win. So I have 5 written down, and then if needed, we have a bonus if we feel that we need to get to that point. So I thought 5 would be a good number, and then 1 if needed for a bonus to determine the winner, which I think would be fun to get to. So we'll see how it plays out, but we got one in the back pocket for that. We'll do 3 points each, and a points update right now. Steve is in first. Joe is
Wow,
in second.
I'm in first
Jonah's
heading
in
to the
third,
game. That's never
and
happened.
it's a 1 point difference between everyone right now.
Okay.
So
Ooh,
Steve
close
is up
game.
by 1, and then Jonah trails Joe by 1. So
Okay.
it's very close.
Okay.
Okay, so we can get into our first one. I'm gonna put on my voice as best as I can here. I think I have a little bit better voice tonight than Jonah. I was dealing with a cold. Hopefully it feels better
so
soon.
are we just blurting this out? Is this like a free
Yeah,
for all?
kind of like we did with Pictionary last week.
All right, okay, cool.
First one to get it. I was trying to think of a better system, but I thought, let's just roll with that. It worked for
I think what we should do at some point is we have like little cards to say it's like I got it, and you just have to look at the screen to see who raises it first.
Ooh,
Yeah, I think
on
moving
that.
forward we're gonna do that.
Yep.
Yeah,
I like that idea.
Jonah and Joe, if you guys like mute your mics, you actually get like input faster, so you can be in front of me.
Really? I thought I
Yeah.
heard. I thought I heard if Steve
If you
mutes
like
his
that
mic.
that little microphone button, make sure the slash is going through it.
All right. Let
Yeah.
me do that. Oh wait, it says Steve should do this, not you. Okay. All right, I'll let Steve.
No,
do
it doesn't say that. Don't lie.
No, I'm
does not say
I'm
that.
looking at the screen, Steve. That's what it says.
Yeah, well, are
Don't
you?
lie. Come on. Don't lie. Come on.
All right, we'll get into the first one here. This is in honor of the home run derby with our first one. Okay, here we go. Back, gone.
Every MLB announcer ever.
The boomer.
Jonah got it. Chris Berman with the first one.
Yep.
Okay,
Okay.
we good for number 2?
Yep.
I think so.
All
This
right,
is
here
gonna
we
be
go.
tough.
To beat the champ, you gotta knock him out.
Ooh,
I'm gonna just
to
throw
beat
Kenny
the
Albert
champ,
out
you
there.
have to.
I'll throw Kenny Albert out there.
It is not Kenny Albert.
Okay.
That's a good one though.
This is along the baseball theme.
Baseball.
Ooh.
Okay.
That helps.
Is it Joe Buck?
No, it is not Joe Buck.
No,
Vin Scully.
it's
No,
Joe
it's not Vin
Davis.
Scully. It is Joe Davis. Steve
Joe
got it.
Davis.
Oh.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Alrighty, so as of right now, Jonah had the first, he gets +3. Steve had the second, he gets +3.
I gotta lock in here, man. Come on.
I'll give you a little score update soon. Alright, are we good with number 3?
Yes.
Yes.
Alright,
Yeah,
here we go.
Sean.
Damon running to the plate. He can keep on running to New York. Game
Joe Buck.
6
Joe Buck.
tomorrow night. Joe Buck. I'll give it to Joe.
Yep.
No.
Yes. 2004 ALCS Game 6.
Oh my God, I
specific.
knew that one. Notice the Yankee fan didn't know it.
He's probably trying to forget, to be honest.
All right, so everyone
Yeah, I was
has
one.
got it at this point. So Steve is still in first. So we're still in the same order as we were before.
Okay.
No.
Okay. All right, number 4. Here we go. Here's Pritchard. He loves these. Puts it up half court at the
Mike
Mike
buzzer.
Green.
Steve.
Dang,
Come on now.
Wait a second. All right. Respect.
I told you, if you just mute your mic, dude, you'd
Just
be in
mute
front of
the
me.
That's great.
All right, so
Good
after
banter.
4, we have Steve in front. He has 12 total points.
I was
And we
waiting for
have-
Mike Green, dude. I was been
We
on
have
my.
Joe
I've
in
been itching to say
second
that.
with 8, and then we have Jonah in third with 7.
Yikes.
Okay.
Bet.
We have number 5. We can see where we're at after that, and then we want to go with a bonus, which I thought would be fun. All right.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Here we have number 5. Whoa, he has trouble with the snap, and the ball is free. It's picked up by Michigan State's Jalen Watts
Sean
Jackson,
McDonough.
and he scores.
Oh,
Jonah.
darn it!
Dang it. I was like,
I had to
who
fit
is
him
this?
in
Who
there
is this?
somewhere.
Dang it. Oh.
All right, that's huge
He
for
always has
Jonah,
the
who's
voice
now-
cracks, and it's great.
At first,
Jonah is-
I thought that was the
Jonah's now in
fumbled snap
second.
from Super Bowl 48. At first, that's what I thought it was. Then he said Michigan State. I'm like, oh wait, who was that?
Okay.
Yeah, dude, I was lost, bro.
Yeah.
So we
let's
have
play the game.
Steve with 12 in first, Jonah in second with 10, and Joe in third with 8.
Oh boy.
So
All
with
right.
this one, we're gonna go double. So this
Oh.
one's 6.
Yeah.
So this is it right here for
boy.
for the bonus. All right, are you guys ready for this one?
Yep.
Yeah.
Alrighty. High fly ball into right field. She is gone. In a year that has been so improbable, the impossible has happened.
I want to say, I'm going to throw out Gary Thorne.
It is not Gary Thorne.
It's
Okay.
not. No. Oh man.
Is it another Joe Buck?
It is not Joe Buck.
It's not Joe Davis.
No, it's not Joe Davis.
It's. Oh, who is it? Is it Kenny Albert?
No, it's not Kenny
It's
Albert.
not Kenny Albert. Who is it? Oh my gosh.
Can you
I
repeat
know-
it?
I know
Very,
the
very
call.
Wait, can you repeat that?
Yeah, all right. High fly ball into right field. She is gone. In a year that has been so improbable, the impossible has happened. Very, very famous call.
It is. I just can't.
Very
remember
famous.
The name. Oh my goodness. I could picture the voice.
This hurts
in
me as a
my- in
baseball
my
fan right now.
brain. Oh, what is his name?
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, this is a great
I feel like
poll,
we
by
should
the way.
know this,
great
too.
poll by Colin. This is a great poll for a call. I'm disappointed.
This is a great
myself that I
bonus
don't
one
know.
right here.
I'm disappointed that I don't know the name of this guy.
This is
right
like
now.
the most famous probably call ever right here.
Is it Steve Stone?
No.
Is it?
You guys
Is
know
it?
this.
Is it Vin Scully?
It is Vin Scully.
Oh my goodness.
Yes!
So Joe
Oh my god.
from
Yes!
last place gets the bonus for
No.
all the marbles, and Joe is the winner.
I
Wait,
didn't think it
so-
was actually Vince Scully,
This
bro.
week's
Hold on.
Xbox Quartet.
Frick.
Okay, so was that 1988 against the Oakland A's?
Against the A's, yeah.
Yes. All right. I was like, what call is that? Because I'm picturing like
That
the
sucks.
How
That
many
should've went
times
for it.
we listened to that and watched that and
Yep.
Rich Hollenberg's cohort.
I was gonna
Thought
say
that'd be
Rich
great.
Hollenberg.
I should have
Throw
just
that
went
in there.
for it, dude.
Wow.
Study
Congratulations,
it.
Joe.
Oh my god,
Night
that
in and
sucks.
night out.
That hurts. Not gonna
All
lie.
right.
That hurts.
Yeah, that.
I
Proud
wanted
that
to mix
got-
it up
dug that
though
out.
and throw some different ones out there.
That was a good.
No,
poll.
that's valid though.
That was a great
Okay.
poll. Great poll.
All right, hold on. I'm locked.
No, good
so
stuff. Good
Joe won the episode.
That was it.
That was
Oh,
the
you're
bonus
right. That was
question,
a
yeah.
double. Okay,
That was
Joe.
bonus.
Okay.
That was bonus. So Joe from last place is able to scrape his way to the top. And,
Hell yeah.
and Joe
I
is
know.
our winner, and he'll
That's
host
awesome.
next week for the Press Box Quartet. Well, once again, we thank you for joining us. If you're joining us for the first time, welcome. If you've been tuning in the whole time, we're glad to have you. If you haven't already, follow us on social media below. On Instagram, that's all lowercase pressbox_quartet. And then follow and subscribe, like, comment on YouTube, the Pressbox Quartet. We appreciate your support. We want to continue growing this podcast. It's been a pleasure talking with you boys every week about some of our favorite topics in the sports world. So it feels like we're only going to go up from here, and we just appreciate all the support you guys have given us so far, and we want to continue that going forward. So once again, another great edition of the Pressbox Quartet. Joe is our winner of this week's episode. He'll host next week, and we will see you guys next week.